Okay, I want you to move over to the right a little bit. Yep, keep moving to the right. Okay, now move back. Yep, move right again. Now I want you to come forward, real slow, nice and slow. Okay, hover in place. Now I want you to go back. I want you to move back to where you just came from. Okay, now move over to the left a little bit. Yep, there you go. Now, okay, now move up. Yep, move up. Now I want you to land. I'm going to try to have you landing. Okay, here we go. Let's go landing. Okay, here we go. Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh, Jesus! Oh, God! Oh my God! I'm so sorry, man. I am so sorry. Oh my God! This is awful. I'm very sorry. Please accept my apology. Oh my God! Oh.
Well, that didn't go well. Anyway, that was just for fun. Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. Today we are going to talk about psionics. What are they? Is it real? This is something that Jake Barber, the new whistleblower to step forward, was talking about on NewsNation last week with Ross Coulthart. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, the whole idea, when you think about it, of taking control of an alien craft by simply tapping in with your mind is pretty crazy when you really think about it. But say these craft are, controlled by telepathy by these creatures. Then that goes without saying that maybe we could tap into them if we had the proper brain power to do so. And according to Jake Barber, he believes that that's something that the government does, that they have psionic people that are capable of taking control of a craft and bring it down. It's very interesting. We really have no proof other than what Jake Barber has been stating and what he's reported so far, but it is something to think about. I mean, if it's real, it's like, wow. I mean, that's wild, right? I mean, that's extremely wild that you could basically take control of an alien craft, basically. That's insane. But anyway, here's an article. This was in ovniologia.com. And the headline reads, "What are the psionics reported to the world by Jake Barber?" In his tell-all interview, whistleblower Jake Barber introduced the world to psionics, psychically gifted individuals who can mentally summon and even pilot alien craft. Let me just stop there for a second. I mean, this has to be a big if this is really how it works, right? If this really works, right, then this has to be a big problem for the aliens, right? I mean, that some rogue human is somehow able to take control of one of their crafts and make it do what it wants. That would be a big problem for these creatures, I would have to say. Anyway, in his recent NewsNation interview, UAP whistleblower Jake Barber introduced a surprising and unconventional element to the story of UFO retrievals, psionics. According to Barber, psionics involves individuals with heightened psychic abilities, which the United States government allegedly explored through secret programs aimed at summoning, communicating with, or even controlling unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAP. Actually, that's unidentified anomalous phenomena. Anomalous. When are these people going to get it right? Anyway, at the core of Barber's claims is his account of being contracted as a helicopter pilot for a covert program tasked with retrieving crashed UAPs. He asserts that he witnessed psionics in action during these missions, with individuals attempting to establish a mental or spiritual connection with the phenomena. Barber describes psionics as individuals possessing a predisposition for extratemporal abilities and sensitivities, often associated with psychic powers. These abilities, he suggests, enabled psionics to interact with UAP in ways that defy conventional scientific understanding. For instance, psionic teams allegedly summoned UFOs to land or influence their movements through meditative or mental techniques. Barber's revelations imply that some UAP retrieval missions are not the result of accidental crashes, but deliberate operations where UAP are invited to land. He recounts one such mission involving a craft he refers to as the 8-gon, a flying disc with 8 distinct sections visible from above. During this retrieval, Barber describes experiencing an overwhelming emotional reaction which he attributes to a telepathic connection with a non-human intelligence. This account raises intriguing questions about the interplay between human consciousness and advanced aerial phenomena adding a new dimension to the ongoing UAP discourse. Yes, I would say that it does add a new dimension, this whole psionic angle. And you have to wonder if it's true. I know a lot of people have trouble believing this part. And it does sound crazy, right? But telepathy to a lot of people is something that's real. I mean, even you yourself, you have to think about it. I know myself, right? There are things that happen sometimes, and I can't understand it because it seems more than a coincidence in many cases. Like there are things that happen sometimes. You're thinking about something or someone, and then that person calls you, for instance. I mean, isn't that a form of telepathy? And maybe we just haven't harnessed it correctly yet. Some of us have, and that's what's going on here. I think it's most certainly possible. I mean, we don't understand what's going on in this life or how we got here or what's the meaning of it all, really. I mean, nobody understands. So why is it so crazy to believe that some human beings are capable of doing this? It could be real. We really don't know. And of course, if you watch that episode, that NewsNation segment with Jake Barber over the weekend, he basically stated that he tried to do this on his own with his own personnel later on. They were trying to do it, and they showed something in the sky. Was that person controlling it or not? We don't know. This is something that needs more research, obviously. But before people start laughing it away, I think it's something that people should think about. I mean, these beings themselves, they use telepathy. How many different stories have we heard from alien abductees who were controlled by these beings somehow telepathically? I mean, so if they're able to do it, then maybe we can do it too. Maybe we just don't have the powers that they have. Maybe we're not strong enough yet, but maybe some of us somehow are able to do it. I guess it's something that needs further exploration. I think it does, on its face when you first hear this, yeah, it sounds crazy, but it doesn't mean it's not real. It doesn't mean it's impossible. And I do got to say, I really like Jake Barber. I thought that he seemed like a very sincere person when I saw him in that interview with Ross Coulthart over the weekend. I believe that he's a sincere person, and I think that he's telling us his truth as way he experienced it. He said he retrieved the egg-shaped craft. He believes he had some sort of a telepathic connection with the advanced intelligence that was controlling that craft while he was going to get it. I think he was relaying a truthful event that occurred in his life. Now, as far as this psionic claims that there are people in the government that are capable of doing this, that are sometimes able to summon UFOs with their minds. I mean, we hear Stephen Greer talking about this with this CE5 stuff. But I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just something that requires further exploration and something for us to think about. I mean, I believe that these aliens are capable of communicating telepathically, and I do believe that there are some forces here that allow us sometimes to experience this. I mean, even if just to me, right, there are things that happen in my life over the decades, and I'm sure this goes for a lot of people out there, where you're thinking of someone, and then the next thing you know, that person contacts you. Or you're thinking of something, and the next thing you know, somebody else is thinking the same thing, and it just happens all the time. It seems like there's something in the air. It's beyond just to me. Sometimes it seems like it's beyond just the collective unconscious. I think sometimes there are other elements at play here that we might have abilities that we just haven't really tapped into yet. But this could be something that going forward becomes a thing. Psionics, as insane as it might sound, I think it's very possible. I mean, actually, Elon Musk, he's developing technology right now where you could operate things using your mind. So if we're experimenting with these things now, where do you think an advanced civilization is at with them? I think it is something that's possible, and I think that's now, of course, I want to point this out before I go any further, right? Now, there were some things that were shown in that segment over the weekend. Is there any absolute proof there? Not at all. It was all we're getting is whistleblower commentary. That's what we're getting. We're getting somebody who allegedly came close to these things. Do I believe him? Yes. I don't think this guy came out and is just making stuff up. No, I believe this guy. I believe he was working with the government, and that he did pick up objects that were probably alien in nature. And I think he's telling the truth. He's going to meet with Congress. Well, hopefully we'll see him in one of these open hearings at some point down the road. That will be interesting. We'll see how it all goes. But anyway, let's get back to this article. It says, during one operation, Barber recounts how a psionic individual participating in the mission sensed something wrong during their attempt to summon a UAP. Shortly afterward, a disc-shaped craft appeared in the sky, sparking what Barber described as a psychic dogfight between two UAP. Yeah, now this was something that was shown on that episode, that it was with Barber and people that he works with. They were just trying this on their own. The sky is not classified. I mean, if you want to try this kind of stuff on your own, like I did that faux version before this episode started to kick things off. Now, of course, that was just being try to be funny there. But, maybe it does work. Maybe it could cause a UFO to come down. And actually, you have to wonder, actually made me wonder, was that object that came down in Las Vegas in 2023, was that a craft? Was that brought down by some psionic, maybe? Someone with psionic abilities in the government, and they didn't realize that they were bringing it down in a residential neighborhood in Las Vegas. And guess what? You know what? It could have been egg-shaped. I mean, you look at that thing. I mean, yeah, could have been an egg. Who knows? It rendered itself invisible upon impact. I mean, who knows? Could have been. Maybe that's the reason it came down. Maybe that's why the aliens seemed so out of knocked off kilter when they hit the ground, and they didn't know what was going on, and they were afraid of the human beings with the guns and trying to scare them away. Maybe that's what was going on. They were taken out of their elements suddenly because of some government psionic person. Somebody in the government with psionic abilities brought them down. Maybe they were trying to bring them down somewhere in the desert, or, closer to Area 51, but unfortunately, they really couldn't. They lost control of it, and it came down in that Las Vegas neighborhood. Who knows? Who knows? We'll probably never know the answer to those questions, but it is something interesting to think about. Anyway, continuing here, it says, while the term psionics might sound like something out of science fiction, the idea of using psychic abilities for military purposes is not new. The infamous Project Stargate, a Cold War-era CIA and military initiative, spent years studying remote viewing and alleged ability to perceive distant locations or objects using the mind. In Barber's story, psionics takes this concept a step further. Rather than passively observing, these individuals are said to actively interact with UAP, potentially unlocking new methods of communication or control. Don Paul Bales, another Special Forces operator and colleague of Barber, corroborated these claims. Speaking to host Ross Coulthart in the NewsNation special, he said, "I've had the pleasure of meeting multiple psionic assets. I've seen them function. I know that they're capable of doing what they're doing." Bales added that while it's unclear whether these abilities are something people are born with or a developed skill, there are individuals who are quantifiably and verifiably capable of such feats. Barber argues that his claims, while extraordinary, should not be dismissed outright. "I think everyone deep down knows that there is more to life than what we are being told and experiencing. Not only is it not shocking, but it should be welcome." You know what? I totally agree with Barber on that comment. With everything he just said, that's exactly what I was just stating earlier. We don't know what the hell's going on here. We don't even know what the hell this is all about or how it all started. We really don't know. Some people out there will claim they know everything, right? They don't know. We don't know. We don't know who these beings are. We don't even know where they come from. I know I say they come from other planets. That doesn't make me right, but I think it's going to turn out that way. But I could be wrong. They could be here the whole time. They could be from another dimension, things we don't understand, but there's something here. That's the bottom line. And he's right. You can't dismiss anything in this life, because I think anything is possible. Absolutely anything is possible. And you just can't dismiss everything. You just can't dismiss what their claims made here, because psionics might be a reality, and that's maybe you would have to imagine that an advanced alien intelligence that's here, that's operating these craft that we see, that people have been seeing for decades now, right? You would have to think that these things are being controlled telepathically. Right? That's probably how they do it. So it's not so far-fetched that some people here, human beings that have telepathy ability, right, that they would not be, that you have to assume that they would be able to perhaps tap into these machines somehow, perhaps. I don't know. It seems outrageous, but at the same time, you would think that the aliens would have some sort of safeguards in place to prevent this from happening, but maybe they Maybe they never even thought that this was something that was possible, and they never figured it out. Who knows? We just don't know. All this is a speculation. But I do believe that Jake Barber is telling the truth. I believe that this person is going to turn out. We'll find out. Maybe we'll never find out for sure. But I believe that, like, if all the information was to be laid out for us, we would see, okay, yeah, Jake Barber did have these experiences. These things are real. There is efforts within the government to use psionics to control UFOs. All of these things could be real, and I think he was giving us some truth in that interview with Ross Coulthart over the weekend. Anyway, continuing, it says, as well as airing Barber's interview as part of the special entitled "Hunting UFOs: The Crash Retrieval Whistleblower," NewsNation also showed a piece of exclusive footage that Barber claims he shot during a UAP retrieval mission. The 11-second clip, now that's not the way I understood it. That clip came from someplace else, from what I understood. But anyway, it says here, the 11-second clip appears to show a white egg-shaped object suspended in a cradle beneath a helicopter on a long rope. Artifacts in the leaked footage suggest that the clip has been recorded from another screen, presumably the screen of an in-aircraft night vision system. Yeah, we don't know, and we can't say with 100% whether that video was authentic or not that they showed. And I don't think it was made clear on where that video came from. This article here stating that it was him, but I don't think it was clear in that segment. Anyway, the perfectly smooth object is said to be around 6 meters long and has no markings and no visible means of propulsion, although there's also no visible evidence that it can move in any way for that matter. Many viewers have criticized the clip as underwhelming, overhyped, and damaging to the credibility of UFO research. While some connected the object to historical UFO cases like the Socorro incident, others speculated it was a weather balloon or dismissed the explanations as inadequate. Overall, the reaction leans heavily toward frustration and ridicule, with only a few expressing cautious support or optimism. Well, like I've been saying, the only answer to all of this is absolute proof. If you put the absolute proof in your back pocket when you're going to make these videos, when you're going to make these specials on it, then it makes it more believable. When you present the absolute proof that we've been showing on this channel for about a year now, close to a year, then that adds something. When you're able to show for a fact that we're not alone, right, with absolute proof, then it makes these other wild claims more believable. People in the UFO community need to really start thinking this way. I'm telling you. It really works. When you have absolute proof in your back pocket, debunkers, it's almost like a debunker repellent. It's like Raid for debunkers. Like, shh. You spray Raid instead of spraying Raid. You just showed them the absolute proof, and they go running away. Right? It keeps them off you, keeps them away. They can't even comment on it because they're so afraid. They know it's over, right? So when you bring the absolute proof and you talk about that, you mention it. Oh yeah, we have absolute proof. There's aliens. See. Here. Yeah. And so now Jake Barber is presenting this information, talking about egg-shaped crafts and psionics. So it makes all of it more believable when you have the absolute proof along with it. So that's what a lot of people in the UFO community need to start doing when they present these things. Say, we all know for a fact that there's aliens here because of this, and this, right? So this makes this more believable now, right? That's what they need to start doing. That's just my opinion. Doesn't make me right. But I probably am right. I know in my mind, I know I'm right. Let's put it that way. Okay, continuing with this article, it says the CIA has great interest in all of this. I'm sure they do have great interest in it. It says during the Cold War, the CIA was involved in secret projects investigating psychic abilities with the aim of exploring their potential for intelligence and military operations. The most well-known of these projects was Project Stargate, which began in 1978 and ended in 1995. It focused on the application of abilities such as remote viewing, an alleged capability to see events, locations, or information at a distance without using conventional senses. The project involved training psychic spies to describe hidden locations or objects, a technique that was reportedly useful in cases like attempting to locate Soviet missiles and hostages. Despite some claims of success, such as a case where a psychic was able to locate a secret Soviet facility, the final report concluded that the evidence was inconsistent and not reliable enough to justify continued use. As a result, the project was discontinued, and the United States government concluded that the result did not offer a real strategic advantage. And then they talk about another CIA project, MK Ultra, which took place between 1953 and 1973. That focused on mind control. MK Ultra sought to explore methods for manipulating the human mind and potentially developing psychic abilities. To this end, the CIA conducted a series of experiments with psychedelic substances such as LSD, as well as techniques like hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and even psychological torture. The idea was to expand human mental capabilities and study paranormal phenomena, but many of these experiments were carried out unethically, of course, often without the consent of the participants. Yes, of course. And I'll leave the rest of this article here for you to check out for yourself, but it's all very interesting. I think that it is a possibility because I think that these craft are probably operated telepathically by the creatures themselves. So with that in mind, I think that if we have human beings who are capable of the same kind of ability or close to it maybe, then maybe they could take control of these crafts themselves. It's possible. We can't say for sure. All of it's speculation. But I thought that Jake Barber does, some of his what he's offered to this point. It gives us something to think about. It's food for thought, and I thought it was very exciting. Although I do have to agree that it still doesn't serve as absolute proof. I understand the frustration within the UFO community. Nothing that has been put forward by any whistleblower to this point serves as absolute proof. And I can understand that is very frustrating. However, we do have absolute proof in the public domain at this point. Just so everyone out there who doesn't realize this realizes it. There is absolute proof that we're not alone. There's no question about it. So keep that in mind. So with that in mind, that means that these things might be real too. Just want to point that out. Now, another thing that's happened ever since this story broke was that now there's all these egg photos of alleged egg craft have cropped up everywhere, all over the internet. Okay, and here's an article from Newsweek from today, or actually from a couple days ago. From today. Egg UFO photos flood social media, the headline reads. And it says here, a series of mysterious images and videos believed by some to depict an egg UFO have flooded social media, although the alien hunting community remains skeptical of their authenticity. Yes, I remain highly skeptical of their authenticity because there's no context. It's just internet randos on 4chan uploading images of egg-shaped craft sitting in a cave somewhere. Some of them look like they have hieroglyphics on them. Come on. How do you? We don't know where these came from or who put them out there. There's nothing. There's no story. There's no background to go along with this. So how could anybody believe that these things are real right out of the gate? Some people do, though. I'm highly skeptical of it, and I believe everyone in the UFO community should be highly skeptical of it. It's funny that these photos get all of a sudden they flood the internet. Right after Jake comes on NewsNation and talks about egg-shaped craft. All of a sudden now we have egg-shaped craft all over the place. Now, what does that tell you? Somebody went into their AI program and made them. That's what it tells me. Most likely. That's probably what happened. Anyway, it says here, an anonymous user or users posted a series of videos, images, and backstory on the message board 4chan on Monday, which were then reposted to Reddit and X, garnering thousands of likes and upvotes from UFO sighting enthusiasts. The viral images come days after former United States Air Force employee Jake Barber left alien hunters disappointed when the release of his widely hyped and anticipated egg UFO footage turned out to be grainy and unconvincing. Yes, again, like I just said, I think that Jake Barber's story is very interesting, and I think it deserves more attention. However, the video that was presented and the images, there's not a lot there to really hang your hat on. Unfortunately, we just don't know. We can't say with 100% certainty about that stuff at all, and most especially with what we have on the screen right here. There's some pictures of these eggs in a cave here, egg in a cave, and I don't know. It says here, images believed by some to show egg UFOs went viral on social media after an anonymous user or users posted them to message board 4chan on Monday and Tuesday. And you see a picture of it here. And anyway, article continues. It says, why it matters. A significant minority of Americans believe that global governments are concealing proof of UFOs and alien life from the public. Well, let me tell you, something. That significant minority, they are correct. There is absolutely no doubt about it that world governments are covering this up, and they've been doing so for many decades now. There is absolutely no question about it. We know that there's something here, and we know that they have to know about them, right? Right? We know this, right? Anybody with even a quarter of a brain cell in their head has to know this. Congress held hearings about reported UFO sightings in 2023. Users on social media forums, including Discord, Reddit, and 4chan, routinely post what is claimed to be leaked government information relating to broader theories that occasionally includes real classified intelligence. In December 2024, for example, the Federal Aviation Authority confirmed to Newsweek that a pilot reported unidentified lights after leaked video of the pilot speaking to air traffic control about a UFO went viral on social media. On Saturday, Jake Barber appeared on NewsNation to discuss his account of experiences recovering unidentified aerial phenomena. And again, anomalous phenomena. Anyway, describing an egg-shaped object recovered by helicopter said to be part of an under-the-radar UFO retrieval program. Green-tinted footage aired during the broadcast showed a white object said to be tethered to a helicopter by cable and being transported. Most viewers were unconvinced. Yeah, I mean, there was really not a lot there to really get excited about, really. You know what I mean? I'm not going to show the video on here because it is a NewsNation exclusive, but there's not a lot to get excited about regardless, and I'm sure everyone who's listening to this show right now have already seen that video. By Monday morning, an anonymous user or users on 4chan shared videos and images resembling the NewsNation footage, claiming they depicted an egg UAP discovered in an Antarctic ice cave in 2022. Ooh, in Antarctic too yet. Antarctica, wow. The original anonymous poster described the object as of ancient origin and said they would reply to questions from other users. See, I mean, anybody could do something like that. I mean, you could invent your own egg-shaped object inside of a cave, your own pictures, throw them on 4chan and say, I'm taking questions. This was discovered in Antarctica. How do we know where it came from? We don't even know who the person is that's posting it. Is he a former government personnel? Like, where's the other? There needs to be more than just the pictures alone. I mean, this is foolish that anyone would just fall for this, but some people do. Other images and answers about the UAP were posted by anonymous users in the replies, purportedly by the original poster. Because 4chan users are anonymous, their identity is not verifiable. Some of these replies claimed the NewsNation footage was real. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, who are these online presences that people rely on here? On X, user Billy Kryzek reposted some of the egg images, claiming that in his analysis, he is 99.2% sure these photos of this egg are real. Okay, I just don't know. Again, I just don't see how anybody could say that with that sort of authority. 99.2%? User at Daily UFO Posts wrote on X about the 4chan images. This is huge. Massive to moving disclosure forward. How is that massive? I mean, seriously. How is it massive? Pictures that from unknown sources posted by anonymously on 4chan, that's moving disclosure forward in any way, shape, or form? No, it's not. It does nothing. It's an insult to intelligence when you don't have any background whatsoever other than the pictures themselves. You don't know what those pictures, where they came from. I mean, with the way AI is right now, anybody could have made them up. Yeah, and actually, one of the objects, somebody actually said that here. Somebody said it looks like that it was computer generated. Another user, Garden of Smegma, posted a close-up of one of the images, claiming that when zoomed in, the cave surface in the egg UFO image appears computer-generated. This post garnered 2,800 upvotes by Wednesday. Yeah, if you look at it close, it could be that it was AI-generated. I don't know. I don't even know if you could. How do you tell that's AI-generated? But again, the whole problem comes from we don't know where these images came from. See, that's why certain stories, UFO alien encounter stories, are better than others. Some are way better than others. Like if you look at something like the Ariel school incident, for instance, right? That story is way better because we had over 60 little kid witnesses that said they all saw a flying saucer land it and alien creatures, and some of those kids said they saw alien creatures communicated with them telepathically. Like I've talked about many times before, those kids at that age were incapable of contriving a story like that and maintaining it now for over 30 years. It's just impossible, right? And it goes with other stories too, like when you have like the Lonnie Zamora case that involved an egg-shaped object that he saw landed on the ground and little diminutive beings traipsing around it, right? And then it took off silently, right? Flew away, no sound whatsoever, egg-shaped, right? That's believable because there was marks in the ground. We know this. We know who the person is who saw it. He reported it. He was flabbergasted by everything that happened. He was shocked. So I mean, that's why some UFO stories are very believable, and then some aren't. Like these eggs. These egg pictures do nothing. They absolutely do nothing to move this conversation forward. Right, absolutely nothing. There's no context. We have no idea where they came from or how they, who's responsible for putting them on the internet. We have no idea. So that's all I have to say about that. And I'll leave the links for that article. There's more to it than just that. Okay, now we're gonna get caught up on some of the recent Spotify polls. Okay, for the episode, UFOs are being reported everywhere, but governments continue brazen cover-up anyway. And I asked this question: of the choices below, which best describes your position on the UFO cover-up? 58 votes so far with 18 days left. Okay, let's see. 2 people, or 3.4%, say they love it. They love the cover-up, right? So obviously, these people who love it, I have this to say: they've gone cover up happy. They're happy that it's covered up. They've been thinking about, this is my only explanation, right? They've been thinking about it so much over the years that now they're happy. It's like someone who goes to prison for like decades and they go prison happy. They don't want to leave. They like it. They end up loving it. I think that's might be the case here with these people who say they love it. Perhaps, unless it's a couple of debunkers. Who knows? Anyway, another 3 people, or 5.2%, say it's a total injustice. Yes, it is a total injustice. That's one of the phrases I would use to describe my feelings, my position on the UFO cover-up for sure. I know I've said that before. 6 people, or 10.3%, say stop it already. Yes, they're sick of the cover-up. Yeah, in that episode, if I recall, I was very, 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 very frustrated about the cover-up, and I'm just tired of it. I think we need to get on to the next level here. We're like, let's move on from this nonsense already. 9 people, or 15.5%, say makes me angry. Yeah, makes me angry too. Very angry. 17 people, or 29.3%, say they're tired of it. Yes, tired of it. I'm very tired of it. It makes me sleepy, actually. I'm so tired of it. 21 people, or 36.2%, say it's insulting. Yes, insulting. I have to agree with. I agree with all of them except for the I love it, because I don't love it. Again, those poor people, those 2 people, they must be have gone cover up happy. Like they're more comfortable with the cover up now. They wanted disclosure at one point, but now they're comfortable with it. It's like a warm blanket to them. Okay, moving on. For the episode, effort to supplant UFO UAP acronyms with, quote, drones, end quote, exposed, Intel Chair Turner removed, and / new whistleblower. I asked this question: have you noticed more and more people calling UFOs drones? 37 votes so far. Only 1 person, or 2.7%, says no, while the majority, 36 people, or 97.3%, say yes. Yes! People are calling them drones more than ever now. Anything that's in the sky, or if they see a flying saucer, what are they going to say? You know what they're going to say? They're going to say, "Oh, I saw a drone." And that's because it's been introduced now, and it's been, they keep hitting you over the head with the drone. Speaking of drone, let's shoot over to the. Oh, by the way, the one person who says no, I figured out where this person lives. You see this big rock? They just crawled out from under it. That's where they live. That person was living under a rock, apparently, for the past few months. But anyway, now I want to shoot over to the definition of drone. Okay, hold on. Yeah, the definition of drone, and this is on Merriam-Webster.com. Okay, number one is a stingless male bee that has the role of mating with the queen and does not gather nectar or pollen. It's also an uncrewed aircraft or vessel guided by remote control or onboard computers. Let's see. And then it's also could be used as a person who is obliged to do menial work, or a person whose work is routine and boring, or someone that lives on the labors of others like a parasite. Yeah, that's the noun versions of drone. And but the one that we want to talk about here is an uncrewed aircraft or vessel guided by remote control or onboard computers, such as A, a small remotely operated rotorcraft, usually with a mounted camera, or B, an uncrewed military aircraft or vessel. So that's what we're talking about here. That's a drone, but they're controlled. So a UFO, if you don't know what it is, right, you cannot say it's a drone. People need to, I think it needs to be re-education on this. I believe it's been being used so much these days. Yeah, let's see what else drone means. Let's look at some of the verbs. Droning, it's an intransitive verb to make a sustained, deep, murmuring, humming, or buzzing sound. To talk in a persistently dull or monotonous tone. To pass, proceed, or act in a dull, drowsy, or indifferent manner. That sounds like the government, doesn't it? When they're telling us about how UFOs aren't real. They just drone on about it, right? And a transitive verb means to utter or pronounce with the drone, or to pass or spend in dull or monotonous activity or in idleness, just sitting around droning on. Okay, so there we go. I just wanted to point that out. It's, drones are, we know what a drone is. You could identify a drone, but if there's something in the sky and you can't identify it, and you're not sure whether it's a drone or not, right? You don't know who's operating it, and you're unable to identify it precisely, then it's a UFO. I just want to point that out, or a UAP, depending on how it performs in the sky. Okay, let's go now to the most recent episode, and this was the UFO. This was the episode, the UFO threat narrative / review of James Fox's The Program / Corbell has bullseye on back, says Lou. I ask this question: is Jeremy Corbell's information correct in that the government plans to foist a phony alien threat narrative onto the public? 39 votes so far. 14 people, or 35.9%, say no, while a majority, 25 people, or 64.1%, say yes. I don't think we're ever going to know at this point, because I don't think, if it was true, then they're not going to do that now. If it was true. So I don't think we're ever going to know. But I don't even know. I don't know. I just say I don't know. But I guess if I was forced, like if somebody busted in the room right now and held a gun to my head and demanded me to give an answer, demand that I provide an answer, I would say yes. Yeah, probably. They probably had something like that up their sleeve. At some point, they'd probably tell everyone, yeah, there's something coming here and it's not good, and we need to increase military spending by $1 trillion. So sorry, but their aliens are real. Sorry we had to lie for all these years, but they're coming now in force, and they have plans of taking over the planet. But if we fund our defenses by doubling what we've been paying, then maybe we could fight them off. Yeah, it could be. That sounds like something that might happen, that they've been plotting in the background. And the drones, right? The people who get led around who allow themselves to be led around by the nostrils by the government, all the time. They would probably, fall in line and, okay, I guess that's the way it is then. Yeah, so I would probably agree. Yes. Anyway, I want to say this. I want to say thank you all for joining me today. Until next time.